All right, 9.3, audience of TV shows. The number of people who watch the TV episode is a function of that show's episode number. Here are three graphs of three functions, A, B, and C, representing three different TV shows. So what they're saying here is that the number of people in the audience is dependent on the episode number, right? Sometimes you may hear about a show after the first few episodes, and you tell your friend, and then they start watching it, so they may not be starting it from the very beginning. But actually, let's see. They have some situations here that would represent these graphs, right? Or people might stop watching a show because it gets bad. Like that happens too. All right. So number 1, match each description with a graph that could represent the situation described. One of the descriptions has no corresponding graph, right? There are 4 options and 3 graphs, so one of them is not a possibility. This show has a good core audience. They had a guest star in the 5th episode that brought in some new viewers, but most of them stopped watching after that. So when I see a show as a good core audience, that means that it's constant or consistent. The same people watch the show every week, so it's not getting too high, not getting too low. The 5th episode brought in more viewers, so on episode number 5, I should see an outlier. And right here, we can see that episode number 5 is way higher than the rest. This dot right here might imply that some people who stayed for episode 5 gave it another shot, but then even those people kind of gave up on it, and it was back to the core audience. So choice A would be show C. This show is one of the most popular shows, and its audience keeps increasing. Well, that would be show A, right? If we look at this, follow this rate of change, it's always positive. It's always increasing. So show A. Oh, that's not how you spell show. This show has a small audience, but it's improving. So more people keep noticing. A small audience. I guess you could argue that show A works for this too. A small audience, that looks like it's like about 750,000 people. I don't really know like what a lot of people watching a TV show means. But I guess now that I think about it, if this is one of the most popular shows, there's no way that only 750,000 people are watching it. That's very low. So here we see with this show that, this is over 2 million every single episode. And this show only gets to 2 million by the end. So I think maybe I was wrong in saying that if this is one of the most popular shows, I don't think the viewership would be so low. So I'm gonna say maybe B is the one that doesn't have any situation. And I'm gonna switch over to show A, because that makes more sense. If we're talking about a small audience, this starts at a very small number. All right, so I guess B looks like to be our one that doesn't count. D, this show started out huge. Even though it feels like it crashed, it still has more viewers than another show. So that's exactly what I was talking about before. Even at its lowest point, it's still above 2 million, which this show never reaches. So show B is going to be D. Wonder if that's like the last season of Game of Thrones. Everyone said it was horrible. I didn't watch it. Which is the greatest? A of 7, B of 7, or C of 7? Explain what the answer tells us about the shows. So they're asking at the 7th episode, which one had the most viewers? So if I look at episode 7 here, that looks to be about 1.75 mil. Episode 7 here, that looks like it's maybe 3.9 mil. And episode 7 here, that looks like it's at about 3 mil exactly. So what does this tell us about the shows? That, even though show B is the one that is losing viewers, it's somehow still managing to beat out all of show A and show C. So I don't know what they did at the beginning of the show, but it got a lot of viewers right away, and then they couldn't keep that up. Maybe the first episode was just really good. I know I've watched shows like that where the first episode was great and then they just never matched it again. Show C, 3 million. It shows us that it's, consistently way more popular than show A. Show A, even on the 7th episode, it keeps getting more viewers, but it still pales in comparison to the other two shows. Like, it's really nowhere near as popular. Maybe it's on like a channel that not everyone gets, or it's on cable. Like, I don't have cable. I don't watch shows on cable. So yeah, that could be the reason why. But really, I mean, your own interpretation. I'm sure based on your own knowledge of TV, you could probably pick 3 shows which each represent that. So yeah, that's kind of interesting to think about. All right, that's all for lesson 9. I hope you have a great day and a great weekend.